to the republic for which it stands,
one nation, under God,
indivisible,
with liberty and justice for all.
Guns, self-defense, concealed carry. This is the Patriot Defense Podcast. From the war room in Idaho's high desert, here's your host, Todd Echols.
And I am back. Once again, I am tucked away in the war room somewhere in the high desert of southern Idaho. And it is, what day is it? It is Sunday afternoon. I have a real hard time with the holidays. All the days start to blend together for me. My big markers this time of year, honestly, of from day to day to day is, what the days are is when my wife is at work and my kid is at school. My life is pretty just, I'm here at the house. I go and do the same things every day. I come home, I get ready. I either have classes or I don't. Come out to the war room, tinker around out here, do the daily chores that need to be done. And I'll literally do that the same every single day. It doesn't matter. So the way I can tell the weekend from the weekdays is, I said, when my wife goes to work and my kid goes to school. Well, we're nearing the end of their Christmas vacation. And my wife still is working, but she's able to work from home. But they've been home for like 2 weeks, 3 weeks. I don't know, something like that. It seems like a long time. And so I'm losing track of, is it Monday? Is it Friday? Is it Saturday? Is it Sunday? And all last week felt like the weekend. So it's weird to say that today is Sunday. I had to actually honestly just kind of sit there and think about it for a minute. But that's the way my winter usually goes. I had some time today, and it is the weekend, so I thought I'd hop on here and give you guys something to think about. Actually, just talk about some random stuff I wrote down. That's essentially all it is. I'm thinking that you guys like to hear my voice and just hear me talk. If I've got really something to say and good topics, I think you guys enjoy that as well. But I'm learning or starting to find out, I think, that even if I don't have a whole lot to say, just getting on here and telling you what I've been up to, I think is almost good enough. I'll make the best podcast I can. If I got information and cool stuff to talk about, this is the first place I come. But if I don't, I think you'd rather I just get on here and do something than not do a podcast at all. That's what I'm thinking. Maybe I am wrong. What has gone on this week? Well, Friday, when I normally do my 1 hour radio show from 8 to 9 in the mornings. But the new thing was, it started over Thanksgiving, and this was the third time I did it, but I was actually filled in for the entire show from 6 o'clock in the morning till 10 o'clock in the morning. It's pretty much my show. I had a couple of pre-scheduled guests that I didn't bring on that were normally scheduled to come in on Fridays that I went ahead and just kind of had in there and did my part, but I had all the other time to myself. And I honestly think the show went better than the previous one that I did. I think I'm getting a little smoother at it, a little better at it, maybe a little more confident with what I'm doing. And it actually turned out really well. And I was having a discussion with my wife about it after that show was done. And she's like, well, and I don't know anything. So anyone who listens to the show, I don't know anything. This is literally just a conversation I had with my wife. I'm not throwing anything out there, but I know the guy that normally does the show, he loves doing the show, Bill. He's a regular host of that show. He loves to do the show. I'm not looking to take anything away from Bill at all. He does a great job. He's a great political advocate for this area and that show. And my wife just, we always kind of think about stuff. She goes, man, what if one of these days, because I've been doing the radio show, the 1 hour show for like 10 years now. And she's like, what if one of these days Bill were to retire, and what if they asked you to do the show? Would you do it? And That would be a Monday through Friday gig. I mean, they have not even talked to me about this. It's not even an option. Bill isn't retiring. This is just in the future. This is just me thinking, right? Would I do that? I love Patriot Defense. Would I leave Patriot Defense? I don't think I would. Would I want to do the radio show? I quite possibly would. I think if that was my sole focus, it'd be much better because I could just think about a lot more stuff. I guess it depends. Think of a lot more stuff to talk about. But if it just depends on what they said I had to talk about. It does have to be politics. I don't think we could do a week of gun stuff and keep the listener base they have. Like what would I talk about? It probably just depends on what their instructions were. I do know that if you are an employee for that company, you got to do a whole lot more than just the radio show. You have to write articles. You got to do all kinds of stuff. And that's where I would have a problem. Not that I don't want to work, but I do have another job. Now, if they said just come in and do the radio show, that's all you have to do. You don't have to show up to events and you don't have to write articles. I would say, what are you going to pay me? I mean, that's exactly what I would say. So I don't know. I mean, if that's ever an option, it's not now. It's just me, pontificating what, the future. And I don't even know. That's even out of my control. But would I do it? I think I might do it because if I could do just what I wanted to and do the whole radio show, I could get there early. I already get up early anyway. I could do the show and I would be done. And I could just schedule Patriot Defense around that. So I don't know. That's just some thoughts I had. I don't know if I'm even that good. I may be absolutely horrible when it comes to doing the 4-hour radio show. So who knows? It just might be in my head that I'm telling myself I'm better than I am. I don't know if I'm that great. I do enjoy it. It is fun. And as of right now, I think the main host, Bill, I think he has used up all his vacation time. So I'll be there on Friday still for my hour, but I don't believe that I will be there for an extended amount of time until he builds up more vacation time, probably around the end of the year, I'd imagine, around the end of the holidays. So there's that. The Magic Valley has had enough of me, I fear. What else have I had happen? Well, I had a permit class yesterday for January. It was a decent size. It had 10 people in it. I mean, usually in January, my classes are really, really full. So that was just a little odd. But again, the last couple of years, stuff's not getting cheaper. Things are getting tight for everyone. So this is just kind of the up and down, the highs and lows of the business. But it was a great weather for the class. I think it was probably 48 degrees and like 4-mile-an-hour wind. I mean, and it was a little overcast. So that actually kept it a little warmer. A little overcast, no rain while we were shooting. It was absolutely fantastic. Great class, good questions, good involvement. I did appreciate all the involvement. So if anyone was in that class yesterday, thanks for coming. Thanks for asking your questions. Like I said, it was a fantastic class. I've got 0 complaints. Trying to think if I had any weird gun show or odd gun show up in the class. I really didn't. I did have a SIG. I don't even know which one it was. It wasn't their new one, but it was an old SIG 22 caliber semi-auto. It wasn't the Mosquito. It wasn't this new 2022 thing that they have. I'm not sure what it was, but it was absolutely horrible and literally failed like 3 rounds in. And a guy's like, I don't know. I borrowed this guy. I said, well, here, borrow mine. And I handed him the Taurus TX22, and it ran like an absolute champ, like it always does. The thing never fails. The thing just keeps on going forever. Best investment I ever made. I should probably buy another one. I should probably buy a Canic. I should probably buy a whole handful of actual class guns. But will I do that? I don't know. Maybe someday. But I also have a personal gun list that I would like to supply as well. Let's talk about that permit class for a minute. Let's talk about, and I mentioned it before, what I'm doing this year as far as when people sign up for the permit class. I have them, I used to just write their name down and keep my fingers crossed and hope they showed up. This year, I'm having them all prepay. No one's complained about prepaying yet. It's a non-refundable full payment of the class, which is $95. And I do that because I think I bet you I lost. I was kind of calculating with my wife. I don't have any official numbers. I should have started keeping track of that just so I knew. But I bet you I lost. I'm going to round up. We'll say the class is $95 a person. We'll say it's $100 a person just to make the numbers easy. And so let's see. I bet you there's probably three people. We'll say 2 to 4, sometimes more actually. I've had up to 6 people that sign up for the permit class every month that don't show up. So let's say there's an average of 3 to 4, and we'll go on the low side. So we'll say 3. So what is that? That's let's see, 3, 6. That's $3,000, right? That's $3,000 a year that I'm out of. Did I do that math horrible? I think I got it right. That's $3,000 a month, right? Or not a month, a year that I was out last year. And for a small business such as my own, that is actually a pretty significant number if in the long run. So that's not good. I can't continue to do that. So I'm asking them to sign up. Now, I had a lot of people call in for that class, and I sent that registration link to every one of them. And I had 10, and I think there was probably another 8 people that I sent that registration link to, and they never signed up, so they didn't attend class. And I can look at it as fantastic. 10 people showed up. Fantastic. I didn't have 8 other people on, 8 other people on top of that said they would be there and then didn't show up. Or I can look at it as, God, did that paying in advance thing, that registration link, did it scare those people away, or did it just save me from a bunch of slackers and flaky people that weren't going to show up anyhow? I have no idea. Today, I was supposed to have a private class with a student, and I set it up like 2.5, probably 3 weeks ago. And I sent them the same thing. It's a private class, not a permit class, a private class. And on the private classes, they put 50% down to hold and reserve their spot. And it has to be done within 48 hours of the class date that we schedule. And when they show up, they can pay the rest upon showing up to class, because I would have a lot of no-shows on private classes as well. And I signed this lady up today, or 3 weeks ago, the student, and they never showed up. And I'm not mad, because guess what? They didn't sign up either, right? They just didn't show up. So is it working? It's probably working. Or did that actually possibly scare a student off that maybe didn't have the money right then and there, and so they just didn't bother to register? I don't know. And maybe it kept me from waiting around, right? I don't know. Here's the thing, folks. I do have this business. I've had it for quite a few years now, and I don't do everything perfect. I'm still learning all the time, and I'm growing. And if you own or run or have ever owned or ran a small business, it is a fight. And you're always trying to tweak stuff. You're always trying to change stuff, make it easier on you, make it more organized for yourself, for taxes, for your students. And it's just, you make a change, and then you look and you're like, uh-oh, did that affect that? Or is it really helping me? And you're always super, super concerned by that. But I don't know. We'll see. Hopefully they're not just scaring people off. So we're going to just kind of move forward through the year. This is January. We have just cleared Christmas and New Year's. So maybe that had a little to do with it. So we'll just move forward, and we will see what happens. I wanted to talk about, my little reloading journey. It's been a few years since I've done it, and I hop back on the wagon this winter with it. And I decided, I mentioned previously, I decided that as much as I like casting rounds and powder coating them and loading those rounds, it's time consuming. And I had a box of Freedom Munitions bullets, not actual ammo, but bullets. And someone gave me, I had 500 of them. And I started loading those. And how much nicer that was. So I went ahead and I ordered a whole bunch. Now I should have got off my butt and ordered them a little bit early. I got about 2,500 rounds of those showing up. I want to get them loaded up. So I've been sitting here waiting. And of course I ordered them over the holidays, which didn't help, them get here quicker. So I think they're supposed to be arriving on Tuesday. So I've been sitting in here in my spare time in between classes and whatnot. My kid's been sitting out here with me. We've been watching some Netflix shows that he wants to watch, and he's putting together some of his Lego sets he got for Christmas. And I'm hand priming 9mm brass. And honestly, I think I have about 200 of them babies, or not 200, just under 2,000. I have to go over there and count the primer boxes, but I got it just under 2,000 9mm brass hand prime. So I'm ready. When those rounds get here, I'm just going to crank them out. It's going to be like an ammo factory in here. As fast as my little Lee turret press will go, that's as fast as I'm going to crank those rounds out. So I'm ready to go when I get that ammo. I'm looking forward to it. I decided this year, everyone, it's New Year's, right? Everyone got goals. Has anyone got goals? You set the goals to like go to the gym more, set the goals to like do more of this or more of that. Like we all have them, whether you get on Facebook and talk about them. We all have them. Give me a second. I got to take a swallow of my caffeine, my energy drink over here. That's better. So whether you make those public, we've all got goals. I know we do. My goal this year was to get a little more organized on the business side of things, which I'm trying to do. In fact, my wife's already on me to get my tax crap together. So I got to do that. Getting more organized on all the classes I do, getting them, it's a whole thing. Getting them on my computer so I just print them off when I have classes that day and I don't have to. It's a whole thing for me. We won't get into that boring stuff. But I am also trying to educate myself some more on some different things. And that means doing something that I haven't done for years. And I haven't done it for years because I don't have time. I started having kids and I quit doing it. But in the past, I really, really liked to read. And so I'm not going to actually read books now. I got some stuff that I've been reading online and whatnot, but I'm going to start audiobooks. I really like audiobooks. Now, I'm not out there listening to audiobook, westerns on audiobook or anything like that. These are things like, I've talked about and I've already read it, so I'm not doing it again. But books like The Gift of Fear, self-defense type books that I can listen to. I can glean some knowledge. I can glean some more information. I'm just trying to expand my horizons a little bit. I used to go out and I used to go and take some different, I called them continuing ed classes. Now I don't have, I didn't have to do some of this stuff, but I would go and take some training classes myself when it comes to shooting. It's been a few years, honestly, since I have done that. And a lot of it has just, the money part of it and traveling. I've been trying to travel more with my wife as well as we get older and our kids are moving out. I've only got one boy left here, one kiddo at home. She's been wanting to get out and travel a little bit more as well. So I've been I have to figure out how to divide my time, right? So I've been going and spending time with my wife. She's earned it. We've been together, married 30 years now. And I'm not a big guy that likes to travel real far. And so we didn't do a lot of it with the kids. First of all, it's way more expensive when you have kids. And second of all, I'm a homebody. We've discussed that in great detail. I'd rather just be here and I'm fine. So we've got a handful of places that we do like to go. They're not too far away. It's a good, day drive to get there, spend a few days, spend a day, and drive back type situation. So I'm down with that. So that's what we've kind of been doing lately. So I haven't been able to divert funds, even business funds, to go and take some continuing ed classes. So I'm trying to jump on the point that I want to, try to read some of these books, listen to the books. I ain't going to read nothing, guys. And just kind of broaden my horizons and try to make myself a better instructor and learn some new things and just a better all-around instructor and human being, hopefully. That is the plan. I do partake in lots of podcasts. And that's not a bad thing. And I think I'm going to take some of those podcasts and move them over to these different audio books and stuff where I can do that. So if I get some tidbits of important information, you guys will be the first ones to hear about it. I'll come on here and I'll let you know what I'm learning. If I think it's worth you guys taking reading or listening, I will pass that on as well. So there you go. And then I wanted to jump on here real quick, and I wanted to, before we get done here, and I wanted to talk about training again. I know I'm constantly on this whole training thing, but let's just get real. I'm an instructor. Like, that's what I talk about. And I just want to get on here and say, you need to get out and train. You got to get out and do these things. Even if, maybe I got people listening to me that they've signed up for classes. They signed up for the men's and women's academies, which start in a month. Just a reminder there. You still need, even though you're coming here and you're shooting twice a month, you still need to get out and shoot. You really do. If you're going to be proficient with your gun, you need to be able to use it. You need to be able to hit what you're aiming at. You need to be able to be accurate with it under stress, right? Especially under stress. And that just takes going out and shooting. I'm constantly amazed that the people show up here and a lot of people come here to learn that there is a handful to show up and they're like, ugh, I'm just here because I'm going to take this class with my wife. Maybe it's a beginner's class. I'm going to take this class with my wife because she wanted me here. I'm here to support her. This class is for her, but I'm going to take it too. But, I already know everything. And they almost outright tell me that. And then I get them out and they tell me they know everything. And I can have their wife shooting better than them in like 15 minutes. Right? Because they're not open to discussion. They're not open for help, even though they've paid for the class. Get out and shoot. Get out and take some classes. Go do something. You will benefit so much more from putting rounds down range. And use the weapon that you're going to carry. Don't just have fancy ones. I have fancy guns, right? And I like to shoot them. But don't just have fancy guns that you just pull out of your safe just to go shoot at the range. Like, shoot that sucker you carry on your hip every day. That you carry in that holster on your person every single day. Like, that gun should see some use. I was talking to someone in my permit class the other day, and they're like, what gun do you carry? And I was like, I carry this VP9. I carried it for years, and then I switched it over to the P30, and I like that gun. That's a fantastic gun. But you know what I like the most? I like that VP9. I like the way it feels. I like the trigger. I like everything. And that gun is, I won't say it's battle worn because there's never been any battles, right? But you can tell I carry that gun. You can tell I've done multiple, I don't even know how many draws from the holster on all the on all the high points on the slide. It's getting worn. It looks like one of those battle-worn guns to a certain extent, right? The dot's taken, the optic's taken a little bit of beating, being used, being banged around. I mean, I have a rubber grip on there that's been on there so long. And I have to have the rubber grip because I don't really have any strength in one of my grip strength, very, very good grip strength in one of my hands. But I've got this rubber Hogue grip that I put on there, and when I bought it, it had bumps on it and texture, and that is smooth. In fact, I need to replace it. But that stuff is smooth because it's been on there for so long. I've used it so much, right? I've carried that gun. Like, let me look here. I'm going to Google this. This is super unprofessional, but my whole podcast is unprofessional. So I'm going to Google, when did VP9s come out? Let me look here. Okay. Google's not working well today. I've been carrying, so I bought that gun, that VP9, the HK VP9, because I like HKs, and I've been carrying that gun. I purchased it the first year they came out. I've been carrying that VP9 and I carried it with optic or with open sight iron sights for a long time, but I've been carrying that gun for 11 years. 11 years. It might have had 6 months off when I carried that P30. Okay, but I've been carrying that gun for 11 years, and I dug it out a while back and said, this P30 is just going to go back in the safe. I like it. It's a great gun, but I want to carry this VP9. This thing feels absolutely fantastic to me. So I don't care what gun you carry. Put some time in with it. If you feels good to you, if it's comfortable to carry and you can shoot it well, then by God, that's what you need to be doing. That needs to be the gun that you carry, right? The one that you're going to take, the one that you're going to shoot. That also needs to be the gun that you're out shooting, right? You can train with all the guns, right? But you go out and the one that you carry all the time, get really good at that one. Learn that gun inside and out. Wear that gun out. You should be training and shooting with that gun so much you wear that gun out. So much that maybe you got to go in and start replacing some springs. Handgun, I don't know, that's a lot of rounds. But maybe you need to rebarrel that thing. Like, that's a lot of rounds. I'm impressed if you have to do that. But, you should get to the point that you're using it so much, you got to take that sucker to a gunsmith, or at least is what I would do anyway, and say, I don't need just a basic field strip, but you need to completely tear this thing down and clean it out. Like, you need to put some time in with that gun. You have to. That's how important it is. Take it out, beat it up, shoot it, draw from the holster. We talked holsters in my class the other day, and there was a guy. He's a leather worker, and he makes some leather holsters and stuff. And leather holsters are cool. They're nice. There's nothing wrong with them for just being fancy, a little fancy. But a good carry gun, a gun you're going to carry in your person, man, Kydex holster is where it is. People, when Kydex first came out, it wears on the gun. I don't like it. It puts marks on my gun. If you're worried about your gun staying pretty, it better not be the one you're going to carry, because that one, by God, should be beat up. Like, if you train and you do anything where you get down on the ground, like that gun should be bouncing around on the ground, in the rocks, in the dirt, in the crud, all that stuff, right? That's the way it should be. That gun should be used. It is a tool. It is a tool, and that's how you should use it. That's the only way to get proficient and good with a handgun, especially one that you're going to carry to defend yourself with, right? So that's my thought of the day. That is my soapbox rant of the day. But I hope everyone had a good New Year's, and I hope no one ended up in, jail or anything overnight. Imagine that if you carry a gun, you're probably pretty good about not going out and getting into trouble and getting into trouble with anything that might eventually jeopardize your gun rights. So I'm assuming we're all safe and we all made good decisions. But tell you what, you guys go out, have a good week. If you live in southern Idaho, get out and enjoy the weather. My gosh, it's not winter out here. It's really, really, really nice outside. So until then, I'll see you guys. I'll be back next weekend. Bye.